Borders are becoming increasingly irrelevant to criminals. Organised crime operates more and more on a global scale, with billions of euros of illicit profits at stake. Drug trafficking, cybercrime, money laundering, weapons shipments, people smuggling. Combating these crimes means taking a similarly international approach, building cooperation across borders and fostering common investigative and prosecutorial approaches. While Eurojust is an agency of the European Union, its cooperation with countries and organisations outside the EU is a key service provided to judicial and law enforcement authorities of EU countries. Around 10% of cases handled by the agency involve third countries, highlighting the importance of this cooperation. How does this work in practice? The agency can rely on agreements on cooperation with more than a dozen countries outside the EU, most of which have liaison prosecutors posted permanently at Eurojust. Eurojust can assist EU judicial authorities in cases involving any of these countries as long as the case affects at least one EU member state. Agreements on cooperation allow for the exchange of operational personal data without further assessment. National members can open cases at Eurojust in these situations involving the liaison prosecutor of the country concerned. Eurojust can also open cases at the request of a liaison prosecutor. Liaison prosecutors can participate in and organise coordination meetings and coordination centres at Eurojust when their country is involved in a case. One of the advantages of having a liaison prosecutor at Eurojust is that they are available to do this at short notice. The list of agreements on cooperation is not closed. Following the authorization of the Council of the European Union, the European Commission is currently conducting negotiations with several third countries, as well as international organizations, to broaden Eurojust's cooperation further still. In addition to this high-level cooperation, Eurojust has contact points in around 70 countries worldwide and can assist national authorities of the EU in investigations or prosecutions concerning these countries if certain conditions are met. Similarly, contact points may ask for Eurojust's assistance in investigations or prosecutions if at least one EU member state is affected, with that member state deciding whether assistance can be provided or not. Eurojust contact points may request the agency's assistance via a dedicated mailbox. Even if there is no agreement on cooperation in place, transfer of operational personal data may be possible to some countries, for example, based on an adequacy decision of the European Commission or an individual assessment for the case. A contact point can also assist in expediting the execution of requests for judicial cooperation or providing advice on national legislation. Eurojust contact points facilitate rapid contacts with judicial authorities worldwide to combat major organised crime in the most effective way. The agency also concludes working arrangements with countries and judicial networks and associations outside the EU. These enable strategic cooperation in combating serious and organised crime. While they cannot serve as a basis to share personal data, working arrangements allow exchanging strategic information and sharing best practices, building a stronger relationship. Working arrangements also serve as basis for appointing contact points. There are other examples of Eurojust working with non-EU countries. The agency cooperates with judicial cooperation networks and associations established in different parts of the world, and with international organizations. Eurojust also implements EU projects on enhancing judicial cooperation in regions outside the EU. Since 2020, Euromed Justice has been implemented by Eurojust. It's a project linking judicial authorities in EU member states with their counterparts in the southern neighbourhood: Algeria, Egypt, Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, Libya, Morocco, Palestine, and Tunisia. Its focus is strengthening the capacities of these partners and enabling closer judicial cooperation among them and with EU member states to tackle shared challenges. Euromed Justice achieves this through exchanges of information and good practice, using tailor-made platforms for regular engagement. In addition to the southern Mediterranean, the Western Balkans is another important focus of Eurojust's work to develop effective partnerships with and among third countries. The Western Balkans Criminal Justice Project supports partners in this region to use Eurojust-style tools and techniques to fight cross-border crime. At its core, the project revolves around a contact group of prosecutors and law enforcement professionals. They work to identify cases of shared interest that could benefit from closer cooperation and coordination. Eurojust guides this group with financial support and expert advice, one of many examples of how the agency's added value combats crime, strengthens capacity, and networks prosecutors and investigators. Eurojust, criminal justice across borders.